Este domingo 9 de marzo, disfruta actividades gratuitas para toda la familia que numerosas instituciones públicas y privadas han preparado para ti en diversos municipios del estado. Es la oportunidad perfecta, no te lo pierdas, sucede solo una vez al año. Consulta horarios y actividades en www.patrimoniodenuevoleón.org.
Hola, queridos radioescuchas de Tech Sounds Radio. Yo soy Carolina Alcántara, conductora de Global Connection, y los invito a escucharnos en nuestro nuevo horario, todos los miércoles a las 11:09 FM y techsoundsradio.tech.mx.
En el Tecnológico de Monterrey, a través del premio Mujer Tech, reconocemos a las mujeres que impulsan cambios de paradigmas y perspectivas. Una visión que redefine lo posible y una perspectiva para tener sociedades más justas e igualitarias.
Te invitamos a seguir la ceremonia de entrega del premio Mujer Tech a través de la transmisión por Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM, miércoles 12 de marzo, 13 horas. Premio Mujer Tech 2025. Juntas cambiemos la perspectiva.
En México estamos preparados para enfrentar cualquier reto. Con el programa México te abraza. Apoyos en salud, vivienda, educación, empleo y programas de bienestar. Y con el Plan México fortaleceremos la inversión, exportaciones, empleo y otras acciones para que la economía siga creciendo. Juntas y juntos seguiremos adelante defendiendo nuestra patria, la Gobierno de México.
XHTEC 94.9 FM, transmitiendo con 20.000 watts de potencia, trazada 2501 Sur, Monterrey, Nuevo León, México. 94.9 FM, la emisora de radio del TEC de Monterrey, Tech Sounds Radio. El siguiente programa es clasificación A, contenido apto para todo público.
Habilidad de quienes las emiten y no representan necesariamente el pensamiento o la línea editorial de esta emisora y su institución.
Experiencias académicas, culturales y personales compartidos por estudiantes internacionales en el TEC de Monterrey. Exchange experiences with us. Una visión única de quienes llegan a nuestro país y la travesía de los que se van en busca de una experiencia global. Esto es Global Connection.
Hola, bienvenidos a Global Connection en nuestro nuevo horario de las 11 a.m. En el programa de hoy tenemos a invitadas que nos van a hablar un poco de Corea del Sur. Hoy va a ser en inglés porque una de nuestras invitadas pues no sabe español, a lo que tengo entendido, pero ella... do you know Spanish? No. No, so it's okay. No worries. Pero welcome to Global Connection. I'm Carolina Alcántara, International Programs Advisor here at TEC de Monterrey, Campus Monterrey. And today we'll explore the experiences of exchange students at TEC de Monterrey and their journeys as TEC students who have studied abroad. In this episode, is Dayeon?
Yeah.
How will you pronounce it?
Dayeon.
Dayeon.
Yeah, or you can just call me Dana.
Dana.
Yeah.
Dana.
Yeah.
That's often, right? That people from Asian countries usually.
And that you want to have like English name because you want to be in the like foreign country. I think they think it's kind of cool to have English name or whatever. I don't know, but I'm proud of my English Korean name as well. But it's hard to pronounce, so you can just call me Dana. Yeah.
And your last name is Ho?
Yeah, H-O.
H-O. Perfect. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And we have in this case Grecia Fernanda Pulido Martinez. Welcome.
Thank you, Caro. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here with Dana and you too.
Well, thank you for being here, and stay tuned. You're listening to Global Connect.
Crónicas de un Chronicles of an Exchange.
Well, in this case, in this segment, it's gonna be more about your experience here in Mexico studying, like, and in what university you study.
Okay. So my hometown is Busan, which is like totally opposite side of Seoul, which is capital of Korea. It's a coastal city, and my university is called Pugyang National University. It's a public student come to XHTEC in my university, and I'm the only person for this semester. So I'm kinda. I was pretty worried about because I have zero record of it, and then I have like no idea what's going on here. So it is pretty good to be here. Like so far, like people are really nice. I really like it, and I have many friends here, so it's pretty nice to be here.
What made you want to come to Mexico?
And the other one is Spain, and the last one is Mexico. And I was thinking to go to United States at first because I have so many friends out there. But last year I was in travel era, so I've been to like United States for several times. So I didn't a lot. And for the Spain, well, I don't know, but I just wanted to speak Spanish more because I really want to improve my Spanish skill if zero base. And last year I went to many Mexican people there, and they were really, really nice to me. And I was like, well, maybe it's not that you have stereotype, right? Like it's kind of dangerous, like you know. So my parents and all of my friends, they're worried about like going to Mexico. But like some of my friends, they used to love it and really recommend me to come here. So that's why I chose Mexico.
And why take the Monterrey?
Well, we had two options. So the first one is UDEM, and the other one is TEC. And the TEC is so like to try this university. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm the first. Like with the like history of them. So yeah, it's good to like you know it's always good to be the first one. So that's why I chose here. But it's pretty good. International area studies is about like international relations. And I spent my 2 years in Canada, and it was like international trade as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you studying currently here?
Here, I take the courses like anthropology and like culture heritage, cultural imaginaries of Mexico, and one life courses which is like martial arts, and I have one more, but I don't remember. I have like six courses.
And how do you think courses are here different from South Korea?
I think it's more like I think I can get more chances to tell them to tell about my opinions. Like in Korea, to the professors because they just wanna go out of the class really fast. Like we don't really ask, like you know that, right? Like it's really hard to ask something because like if I get asked, like everyone goes like, oh, why did she ask them? Right? Like this kind of. But of course, like you can ask professor like to go to his office or whatever. But it was really hard for me as well as a Korean. And well, I think it's more. I think the professors, they are more open to communicate with us for sure. And what else? And I think I like this culture. Like if we started, like if the class has they say it starts at 10 or like 11, we always start at 10 or 11. But like here, they always like 10:15, kind of overslept. So I was like running to the classroom, and then it was like 10:10, but like only like less than 10 people was there. So I'm like, what? The professor was not there. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Or yeah, that kind of thing. Like it's more, I feel more. It's not. It doesn't feel like safe, but I feel more like chill.
Relax.
Yeah, relax and yeah. I really like it.
Yeah, I think it's nice that you say that because German people tend to not like that. But it's nice that you're actually like you're used to not being that on time.
Yeah.
In academic matter, it's supposed to be different, but I
Mhm.
mean at least it's not that a lot like a big of a lap of time that it's
Mhm.
from that you're waiting, right?
Yeah.
And about Mexican culture, food, what
Like Mexican food, like tacos. Koreans love tacos. Like we're just crazy about tacos because tacos are really expensive in Korea. I don't know why is so expensive. And
how much are they?
it's like 100 pesos. Oh, I remember like 700 or like
For an order of taco?
probably like 2 pieces or like 3 pieces. I don't really remember. Like, have you tried it tacos in Korea?
From my experience, one taco was 300
300.
Mexican pesos.
One.
One order.
Oh wow. That's really expensive. Yeah.
Or just one taco, for example, will be if you 150 one taco.
Just one taco. And it's like this big, right?
But it was good.
Yeah, it is good. It is good, but yeah, really like it as well. And then, I don't know. I haven't really tried like Mexican food here, but I'm going to Mexico City next week.
Nice, yeah.
I'm so excited to be there because like my friend, she's going to every Mexican restaurant. So I'm like, whoa, this is really great. And the Mexican culture, like, so this is kind of it's about time as well. I kind of like got shocked because last month there was a Valentine's Day, right? And there was a like Valentine's party. So I went there with my friend, and then when I was in Canada, I'm in Mexican friends, and they were like, Mexicans never on time. So if there's for the party, so if they say the party is gonna be or like 9, it's gonna start at like 11 or 11:30. So I'm like, okay. So but last month I forgot about it. So me and my Korean friend and like other Canadian friends, we went there like 9:40 or 9:50 over there. So I'm like, we're what? And then like around like 11:30, people are coming. So it became full. I'm like, whoa, this is like I was waiting for like an hour and a half, right? I mean, it was not bad because like, I am willing to wait for like people. I don't really mind in Korea as well. I don't. And then like I went to the museum, like Museo de Marco, and they say there was a wedding. There's a like big weddings in the museum. Like it never happens in Korea, never ever. Because like museums, they're supposed to be quiet, right? So I'm like, oh, like so I asked my friend, what time is the wedding? It's like 7 p.m. So I'm like, what? 7 p.m. Because in Korea, the wedding, the earliest time is like 9 or like 10 a.m. hour and a half, and that's it.
Wow.
But like here, they say I don't know, but that type of wedding, like in the museum, they say it starts at like 7 p.m. And then, but like even at 7 p.m. the people so so they just started drinking. They say, and then and it starts like 8 or like 9. I'm like, okay. And then 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, whoa, it never. It's cool. It's just culture difference. I really like it, but I'm not good at drinking though. But it's kind of culture shock to me. It never happens in Korea, so.
Yeah, weddings are a big thing here. Go to the salon and then you do the wedding and then the party and it's like at 6 a.m. and then you do like a after wedding.
After
Party.
Yeah.
in the morning. Okay.
It's called tornaboda.
Yeah, it's quite a big celebration in here.
Oh,
Yeah, people do a whole ritual. I think parties in general in Mexico are quite a ritual
Yeah.
and a good excuse to drink.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And also there's even a party before the party that it's only with the family of the
And
Pre-party, party, and after party.
okay.
I think you can.
And how long does it take for hold a party? Like 3 parties in the like main wedding.
like 3 days, I would say.
The day finishes early morning, and then 12 p.m., 1 p.m. is the after party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Impressive.
And when you were saying that Korean weddings that's just like 3 hours, it's too little for
Yeah, it's like less than 3 hours. It's like
wow.
I would say this long, but like we just do like take a picture and then like main wedding, like they're coming to the wedding hall and then like we're just clapping and then we're just listening like some pattern if they like have religions, we're just listening something and we're just clapping and then take a picture of them and then we go grab buffet. We just have lunch or like it could be dinner time. So and that right away. So it's like less than 3 hours, I would say.
It's more like a just a social event to show people.
Yeah.
Have,
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
ceremony.
like
Mhm.
I mean it's a big ceremony, but not like
it's a ceremony, not a party.
no, it's not a party, but like yeah.
Well, that's crazy that there's like a big cultural shock between like even
Yeah.
like the way of celebrations are, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're gonna go to the next section now. Grace is gonna tell us a little bit about her experience in South Korea. So you can also listen to us in YouTube, in the YouTube channel of Texans Radio.
A miles de kilómetros, descubriendo un mundo de posibilidades. Thousands.
Well, now, Grace, is your time to shine. Tell us your experience in South Korea. Like, what were you studying here at Tech? What part of Mexico are you?
Okay, so short story. I am not from Monterrey. I am from Chiapas. Chiapas is also a south part of Mexico, and I'm also here. And I graduated 2.5 years ago, and I have been here at Monterrey for 7.5 years. I guess 7 years. It's quite a long time, and yeah. So I'm an XHTEC, international majors. So the university I went to is Konkuk University, Conde, sure. So they didn't have my major, so I had to study political science in there. I took classes like Korean law, Korean culture as well, social class. Yeah, it's pretty basic for like international majors of political science. And the thing is that when I went there, as I graduated 2.5 weeks, so before that I had to go to exchange, and I went in 2021 in August. So the COVID was still a big thing, and we all had to I didn't have to go take classes. I had to take it all online. So it was a pretty different experience. I couldn't experience what Dana experiencing here, like seeing the difference. Students participating in class actively, and professor just speaking because it was online. Shocked when we all participated in class, like all asking questions and all. Everyone just wanted to be part of the class, and I think professors were not used to it because Korean students didn't usually participate. I don't remember hearing Korean voices in my class, like my online class, because all of the voices were from to be more shy. I don't know, or it's just the way the school is in there. But although it was in the COVID area and I just had to attend online classes, I think it was very well I could take the classes in a cafe and visit different cafes every week. So it was a I mean I would have liked it to be there not wearing a mask, because I don't know, you just don't get to see people expression, or you don't get to. I remember we met for the first time because they were all wearing masks and it was just weird not to see their faces. But it was a great experience. I mean, I will do that again, but not with a COVID and without a mask now.
No.
No, definitely that was a really odd moment.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to study in Korea?
So I think even now, students are still quite not very fun. I was very interested in Korean culture. I really was eager to eat Korean food and like to see the Korean world with my own eyes and no longer through a screen. So back then I was a big fan of like Korean music. So I just say, you know what, I won't be a university student. I won't have this experience as a university student anymore. So why going to the US or why going to Europe? Like all of my friends will go there. Everyone just wants to be in Spain or France. Like I wanted to do something different. That people were like, oh, you're brave because it's very far from home. Like it's the other part of the world. It's a completely different culture, language, everything. So I just wanted to try. Like I remember all my options to go there was all Korean universities. Like I wanted to go to Korea, and I got the chance to. And I'm very, very grateful because going in on exchange, and Dana will agree on that, it really opens your mind. And going to a country that people usually have a bad stereotype about it, or they just have little to no information on it. They just know, oh, I don't know, Koreans are very strict, or they their food is weird. They just say stuff like that, and it's like, okay, but I think if you ask a Korean person what do they think of Mexican food, they will probably think, oh, we are crazy because our country is very insecure, or we are criminals, or what. Like they all have stereotypes. So I think it was just listen to my own heart. Like I wanted to go to Korea, and I don't care if my family or anyone else agrees. I just go there.
And how was your experience living in Korea?
So Korea is quite, I think they are very respectful with you, but they are also very cold. Korean people in general are quite cold. Like they put a barrier, and even if they are very close to you, you are still a foreigner, and you're still someone very different. You look different, you sound different, even you smell different. Because Mexican, I don't know if this is a fun fact, but Koreans usually don't smell. So, right? So yeah, so they don't. We smell different. So even if you're good at Korean or you can eat Korean food well, you are still a foreigner. So they have a barrier, and you cannot cross that barrier, that wall they put. So yes, they're very they're kind. Like you won't see them being disrespectful to you, because in Korea the hierarchy of ages is very important. So I was older than my friends, so they used to treat me like comfortable but with respect because I was older than them. So people in general were very, I think because when you wear a mask, people don't usually recognize if you're Korean or not. So sometimes people will confuse you as think you were Korean, and they will treat me like very like Korean to Korean. But then I say, oh, I'm not Korean. Then they will totally change the way they speak to me. Like totally they are more shy. Then they suddenly are very they don't speak English, and they just don't want to talk to me. I didn't have bad experiences, but I did learn a lot about people's spaces, or like people respect for time. Just as Dana says, people are very punctual. So I did have a lot of problems because I will be with my friends late, and they will. I mean, it never happened to me here in Mexico. Friends being angry at you because you were 6 minutes late, because it's usually the norm. And I know that sounds like an excuse, but in Korea, like, hey, you're late. Like, friends will really get annoyed at you because you're disrespecting their time. So that really made me, wow, like, yeah, in Mexico we're wrong. Like, that's not, I mean, it's like, it's the norm, it's very common, but we should not be like that. So it made me realize, like, people time and people space is also something you should respect. Because here in Mexico, we are very, we are more warm with friends. We hug each other. We kiss on the cheeks when saying hello, goodbye. In Korea, you don't do that. But as you, okay, I won't touch my friend because they don't want me to touch them. But also you get to miss that Mexican warm you feel with friends here. So it was a lovely experience, yes. And I did learn a lot about the ritual. I mean, I didn't miss my country that much. If I compare the way they see the food. In Korea, food is also very a strong part of the culture. It's a ritual. You see people like going to eat is a way to bond each other. In Mexico, we do that too. So I know some cultures, they just see food as a necessity because you eat. You have to eat, right? But in Korea, they also gather together as families. They meet and they connect through the food. And I think that was something despite knowing about Korea before going, I realized, wow, like people also see food as something you used to express. Because if you cook something, you cook with love for people you love, in case of families, or I just felt safe. Like, oh, okay, so Korean people also appreciate eating with you. It's not just something you need to survive. So I think that made me feel very kind of like at home. So it is very different culture. It is people is more cold, people is more shy. I think all Koreans probably mostly people there is introvert, and they will call me an extrovert because I was Mexican. It's just, you're Mexican. Okay, you're an extrovert. And I was not. But they just say I was an extrovert. They didn't believe me when I told them. In Mexico, I am a shy person. Usually people are, oh, she's very shy. In Korea, I was not. Just because I wanted to wear colors. For example, if I wear a yellow sweater, they would say, oh, you're very extrovert. It's just a color. But they feel you are out of the norm. Korean is more, people usually look alike in terms of clothes or style. In Mexico, people don't usually follow this kind of trends of fashion. In Korea, they do. So if I was wearing just the way I dress here, and they will still think, oh, she's very brave for wearing colors and a hat, and it's not season for hats. So yeah, that was something. It made me feel like weird, but at the same time, it was just like, okay, I think if people, that also helped people to feel more comfortable with me, because if she's an extrovert, okay, I can talk to her.
Oh, that's nice.
I think in Korea, I did become an extrovert because my friends surprisingly my Korean friends were more introvert than me.
Yeah. So if you do a comparison at the end, you were more, I mean, maybe you feel introvert, but then you see that there are people more introvert than you, so you are kind of the extrovert.
I had to be the extrovert in that situation.
In between the introverted.
Yeah, I think I was the less introvert. Yeah,
but that's nice. I think I think in general it's like not taking for granted a lot of things, right? It's like you start seeing that a lot of things that we take for granted are not like that in other countries. And it's a nice way of making comparisons of how life is where we live and where we're going to travel, or where we're doing an exchange. Well, we're going to go to a small break, and then we're going to come back with the challenge. So it's more about like things that you found challenging here, like for instance in Mexico and in Korea. And we're going to be going to a small break. Vamos a un corte comercial y ahorita regresamos. Están escuchando Global Connection aquí en Tech Sounds Radio.
Si eres estudiante de secundaria, prepa o profesional, en cualquier institución educativa, tienes entre 13 y 25 años y juegas League of Legends como pocos, esta es tu oportunidad. Torneo Nacional de League of Legends de Borregos eSports Cup. Arma tu equipo y juega en forma remota en modalidad 5 vs 5. Transmisiones estelares e invitados especiales del mundo gamer, acompañando a los narradores de la partida e interactuando con el público en vivo. Consulta agenda, premios y registro en tech.mx/borregos/gaming. Fecha límite 6 de marzo. Torneo Nacional de League of Legends. Powered by Borregos Gaming. Tech de Monterrey.
En el Tecnológico de Monterrey, a través del premio Mujer Tech, reconocemos a las mujeres que impulsan cambios de paradigmas y perspectivas. Cada mujer reconocida es una voz que inspira transformación, una visión que redefine lo posible y una perspectiva para tener sociedades más justas e igualitarias.
Te invitamos a seguir la ceremonia de entrega del premio Mujer Tech a través de la transmisión live.tech.mx y escúchala por Texas Radio 94.9 FM, miércoles 12 de marzo, 13 horas. Premio Mujer Tech 2025. Juntas cambiemos la perspectiva.
Ya estamos en temporada de frentes fríos.
Es importante abrigarnos, no te arriesgues a enfermarte.
Sí, la temperatura cambia drásticamente. Puede llover, haber heladas, vientos e incluso nieve.
No subestimes los frentes fríos. Revisa el pronóstico del tiempo antes de salir a la calle.
Cuida tu salud. La prevención es clave para evitar enfermedades.
Ante el frío, prevención y acción. Con agua.
Gobierno de México.
Toda la información del mundo deportivo con Aarón Martínez y Bruno Vélez. No te lo pierdas de lunes a viernes en punto de las 12:30 del mediodía. Solo por Tech Sounds Radio. Tech Sounds Radio 94.9 FM. Amplifica tus ideas. El desafío, la integración cultural, The Challenge.
Well, now is the time to say that stuff that was kind of cultural shocking or like, what, like, I mean, you already say about the time, for instance, when it comes to Mexican culture, and you were also saying about the space also, like when it comes to Mexican culture related to Korean. In this case, Grecia was saying that, and Dana, because it's Dayan, but is it Dayan, right? Like how do you pronounce it? I just want to pronounce it correctly.
You're right, correct.
But yeah, like tell us a little bit more about how it's been like something that might be a challenge here or in Korea, like related to your exchange.
I think like the people are like Mexicans, like people are here are more like welcoming the other, like strangers, like literally strangers. Like they're willing to talk to me, like, even though I'm really like totally different with them, and even though I don't really speak Spanish, and they know that, but like they're still like welcoming, and they are willing to help me out. Like I have some Mexican friends here, they always help me out, like literally always help me out. And I have one Mexican guy friend here, like at that. I don't know if he's listening to me or not right now, but like he's always help me out. Like he even speak. He always teasing me, but like he even like speaks Spanish to me, even though I never understand. But like he was like, you have to practice it. Like you have to practice. Like you have to listen to Spanish more and more. Like because it's like the other language. So yeah, it's more the people are more welcoming, and people are really willing to help me a lot. And it's kind of like for like as a Korean, for me it's like the Mexican culture is like chill, relaxing. So I really like it. Like I'm kind of like, I think the days in Canada changed my life, changed my like whole personalities. Like I would say I'm not a like typical Korean. I'm not strict, and I'm not like, no, you need to be on time or whatever. I'm not that like that kind of person. I'm not like typical Korean, I would say. And then I
You
get
seem
more
really like outgoing.
yeah, I
would say,
feel
for a
like
Korean.
outgoing, and then I'm kind of like extroverted, and I really like putting myself in challenge like this kind of thing, because I never tried this before, so I wanted to try this, and I really enjoy it. And then I like going out of countries. Like I like exploring the country, because we can do that, right? So I don't know. So it's really different, like typical Koreans thinking, because they obviously Korea is a conservative country, right? So like, well, my parents, they are not, but like I know some of my friends, their parents are really conservative. Like they never let my friends go out of the country, like with friends or whatever. Or like some of my friends, they have to come back home like at 9 or 10, even though they're over 20. So not everyone, but so it's kind of different here, because like here like almost every party starts at like 11. Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, this is like really cool. And then like the clubs, even though I go clubs, I don't really go clubbing here, but like even though I go clubs, or they're like Mercadito at like 9, there's no people. There's no people. It's only like 10, or like over, at least minimum time is like 10, I think. Like 10, 10:30, like 11. You know? I mean, I like it, but it's kind of different with Korea.
With me, I would say there were two things that shocked me. One, as a student, I don't know back then if you Dana will feel the same in your university, but I remember during term season, like all the cafes were full with people studying. Like Koreans do take hours and hours just studying. So I remember wanting to go out with my Korean friends, and they were not available. Like, okay, you want to meet up? Let's meet at a cafe and study together. And I was like, oh, I just studied like a couple of hours. I'm good. Like, I'm ready to go out. And no, they were like, we have to finish until the cafe is closed. Back then it was 10 p.m. because of the COVID. So some of my friends were every day going just to study until the cafe was closed until 10. So the study culture in Korea is very strong. Like, of course you do study, and in here you do worry about your grades, but like there's still life after studying and after getting good grades. Like even people who gets really good grades, they also get focused on some other activities, from what I see from my experience. But in Korea was like, oh no, like you have to know the Korean study, like the intense Korean, the way Koreans study, like it is very intense for them. But on that times I will just go out with my other foreigner friends. Like, okay, I don't wanna. I mean, I study already. I'm good. Let's grab food. Let's go to the park, whatever. And so that was one thing. And the other thing is how good Koreans and how often they drink. I thought Mexicans were good at drinking because they do drink a lot in Paris, but Koreans are crazy about how good they can manage alcohol and how often is like they will be drinking even weekdays. And I know people in here usually wait until weekend to, get busted and get drunk. But in Korea, people will be drinking like after work or after school. They will go and grab some drinks. So also you can drink in the street in Korea. You cannot do that in Mexico. I don't know if you know that, Dana, but you cannot drink in public here in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So don't try that. In Koreans, you can do that even in the park, like I don't know if children park, but that back then you could do that, like in the street, outside of you can go to what we call OXXO here and just grab a drink and drink it outside. In Korea, you can do that. You can go to a picnic and have beers with you and food. The chicken and beer combo. You do that. It has a name for a reason in Korea. The chimek, Korean fried chicken and beer. Yeah. So it's a thing like, oh, you gotta try the chimek. It was something that my friends will tell me, and I was like, "Oh, you can drink in public in front of kids?" And yeah, you can do that.
Wow.
So I don't know which country is more alcoholic, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to tell people like, oh, in Korea they are alcoholic, but they have a high tolerance of alcohol, and I think it's just part of the meeting ritual. People, I don't know, Mexico, for example, eating snacks, like meeting with your friends and having snacks. I think it's part of our ritual. In Mexico, we have to meet people. In Korea, I guess they also have their stuff, and alcohol, even weekdays, even after work, is quite a thing, a common thing they do.
Maybe there's a connection between being really introverted and needing something to be a little bit more extroverted. That can, I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
With alcohol, like
Korean people being shy and needing some alcohol to feel more.
That could be one of the reasons, but like they just like drinking. Like for me, I'm not good at drinking like at all. So I don't really do that. But like, yeah, like Koreans they drink a lot because they get stressed from like school and work, and they just wanna.
What they do at school, then they do when they work, like getting very busy. So one thing is in Mexico, when you see drunk people in the street, they usually like dress because they went to a party. Like you see their outfit. In Korea, you see men with suits, like they were office people drunk in the subway.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Like because they don't look drunk people. Like they don't look like stereotype of a drunk person in Mexico. Usually people you see in the street, like they are on the floor, like they are done, and they look, I don't know, dirty or because they probably went drinking since 2 days ago. But in Korea they look clean and they look with a suit, and just after work they went to drink and they got very, very drunk until they pass out on the subway floor.
Do you think it was a challenge, like the language?
Yes, it
Did you know Korean before?
I was studying Korean before, and I did well in there. But as soon as people can hear you saying, can I have this, please? Or how much it is, they will start talking to you in Korean. And I don't know if Dana experiences the same. Like, as soon as they know you can say just a few words in the language, they start speaking to you very fast. So you say, like, oh, wait, I'm not that good. My level is not that high. I can say hello, can I have this? Or maybe have my skill was not that bad back then. I could have some conversations, but there were some points where I could just not do it. So I had to explain to them, okay, I just understand half of what you told me. So let's switch to English, or please have more patience on me. I had to say that often.
But didn't they speak English to you?
Usually people my age or students, yes, they did. But I don't know, you just go to a market and you start buying stuff and they say, oh, where are you from? Like Korean, older people. Like older people, they usually don't speak English. And I think that happens in Mexico as well. It's usually people that had the opportunity to study that can speak English. Yeah, but old people will say, oh, you're so good at Korean. And then they start speaking to you like, and or they have an accent, a very strong accent from a different part of of Korea, and you don't understand, because accents in Korea are quite different from Mexico. So you here we have the norteño accent or the Yucatan accent, for example. In Korea they do have accents, but they do say very different words. So if someone, for example, from where she's from speaks to me in a strong Korean from Busan, I don't think I will understand much of it. You just learn the standard Korean in books.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go to now the positive aspects of your exchange, like some things that you might find that are really nice. So to everyone that's hearing us, you're hearing Global Connection. Están escuchando Global Connection en Texas Radio. Estamos ahorita con Grecia y Dana. Nos están contando un poco de su experiencia de intercambio. Al igual que Grecia se fue a Corea del Sur, Dana vino acá de Corea del Sur a estudiar su semestre de intercambio. Así que sigan con nosotros, están escuchando Global Connection. De nuevo les comento, Conexión Global en Texas Radio.
Impacto positivo. Resultados de una experiencia académica. Positive Impact.
Well, how do you think this experience will shape or has shaped your life so far after having an exchange or currently that you're doing your exchange here? What do you think?
I've been here around a month, I would say, because I came here like February 5th. So, like, but so far it's really, I would say, like, I really enjoy my life in Mexico because, like, I told you I have like some Mexican friends and they were really, really extroverted, like really extroverted. And they always like, oh, you just want to try this, try this, try this. And they're willing to help me out as I told you. So I'm like, I mean, I like trying new things. I am willing to try new things. And I really like exploring the other part of the world. And Mexico is one of them, right? Like we're totally different culture. So I really enjoyed it, and like they really helped me out. So I became more and more like extroverted, and I became more and more like, I would say, brave. I mean, I was brave in Canada as well, but like here, like more, because the Mexicans are more than, and I really like it. And yeah, and here, of course, there's some like, I would say there's some like, Korea is like everything goes really fast. Like it could be like trend or like documentary things, like everything goes really fast. But like here is kind of slow for me, but I never feel uncomfortable with that. But yeah, no, I don't really feel uncomfortable with that. And I think I get more like chilled and relaxed in my life. Like in Korea, as you told me, the studying culture is like crazy. It's like really crazy. So the thing that you told me, that you told us, is the exactly what I did in Korea. Like I went to a coffee shop and grab coffee, like, and then study for like at least 4 hours, at the same coffee shop at the same sit. Like, yeah, I did. That's what I did in the university. And even though I had like gap year in my university, I studied like that because I wanted to study something. But here I don't really do that anymore. But I do study Spanish like for 2 hours in a day. Oh, I'm trying, right? I try my apples to do that. But like I get more chilled, and I find more like life balances between like studying and like working out at the gym, or like studying or working, and like hanging out. Like, I find more life balances here, and I get more culture, like more extrovert culture, and like drinking culture as well, because I want to try. But yeah, I'm kind of afraid of it. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice to have. It's always good to know like new culture, which is totally opposite side of the world. Yeah.
For me, I will say my experience was also very positive, and I also get to see the world with, you see, there's people that are the same age as you in the other part of the world that is studying the same major, or is just a university student just like you, and you see they have very different challenges. They are struggling with different stuff than you are struggling back then, or it's just the same. Like, we're also having struggles with universities, friends, family, money, and you see, they're just people like me, but just with very different context. So you try to understand. For example, if I see someone in Korea, when I saw someone and I don't know if I thought they were rude to me or we didn't match, I would just say, okay, but they are different. They are from a different context. So I try to be very understanding. It helped me a lot to become more understanding person and more respectful person and very tolerant. So you just have to understand they grew up very differently from you, and they grew up just everything was different since the moment they were born. So you have to understand, okay, they're different, and that's why they want to study a lot. That's why they prefer drinking, or they dress certain way, or they follow trends certain way. So I try not to judge them. So I think that's something I try to keep in my daily life being here. Okay, so just try not to judge them by the way they are behaving, because they were raised like that. Probably they saw me and they were like, why is she so crazy? Why is she so loud? Because I will be in the subway and I will start speaking slow, just like a normal conversation. Then I will start increasing my tone. So I will be screaming probably. And they will say, why is she so loud, so noisy? That was just me having a conversation in Mexico. But it's just we are very different. And we have to be just more respectful, more understanding, and more open. I think speaking about my future, that definitely shaped my life, and I think everyone should have this kind of experience in their life if they can, at least once, because it really does shape and does mold the way you see everything.
I think it makes you more tolerant, right?
Yeah.
At least if you go out of your country and you experience that, when you come back to your country, you can understand people better.
Yeah, definitely. It does change your perspective of life.
That's great. I think at the end of the day, what exchange does as well is like help you know yourself better, right? And find your own essence in a different scenario.
Yeah, and I think you bring something from that culture, like you learn from them as well. Like, okay, there are negative aspects people might think, and there are also very positive aspects. For example, being early and being diligent at school and being respectful on the subway. Like, people just want to read, people just want to rest because they had a long day at work. How about you are more quiet in subway and like trying to understand and being getting the good things from it and keeping it to me, and trying to, you know, when you're an exchange student, you are at a period in your life where you're still trying to find your personality and finding the way you are in shape, trying to shape in your mind. So going to an exchange really helps you finding like who you are and how you can learn from that experience.
Yeah, I think definitely that helps you a lot to grow as a person.
Yeah.
Well, to everyone hearing, we are with Grecia and Dana, and they're telling us, if you're just tuning in, they were telling us their experience so far studying in South Korea and here in Monterrey, in Tec de Monterrey. And well, we're going to the summary and closing, so stay tuned. You're listening to Global Connection in Tech Sounds Radio.
Resumen. Summary.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye for the moment, but as a last question, I would like to know what would be a word that will describe your whole experience of exchange.
Yeah. That's a pretty quite tough question. Do you want to start or?
I don't think I have the word yet.
I don't know. I can't really choose one word for that. But like as we talk about our like experiences like so far, and like for me I always learn something, like even though living abroad like by yourself, or like studying other culture is it is difficult. It's not easy. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not that difficult, but it's not easy at all. Cause like we have like literally different culture, and like we were born and raised like totally different way, right? So you always learn something new. Always, even though you have like bad experiences or like good experiences, it doesn't really matter. You always learn something from them. And like here, so far I've been here like for a month, but I live in Mexico now, but I met so many European friends, and my roommates are European as well. So I always learn something from them. Like sometimes there's some point that I kind of don't understand, but I always try to understand them, and I always respect them because I want to get respected as well. And it's just like the way like we live differently, and there's no right or wrong. I believe there's no right or wrong, and like I always know better about me whenever I go like live abroad. Like I've been traveled a lot, and I've been live like I would say like 3 or 4 different countries till now, but I always learn something. I always get to know better about me. Yeah.
Maybe it will be introspection.
Sorry?
Introspection. Because you were saying learning about yourself.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that could be the word. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
For me, I would say growing, because despite the bad or good experiences, because I also had bad experiences about myself as well. Like I use that. It helped me grow as a person, as a student, just as me. It helped me grow.
Well, thank you so much for being part of Global Connection in our 20th episode. And in the new, this is the first time we're at 11. We used to be at 4 p.m. And yeah, well, if you would say goodbye in Korea, how would you say it?
Yeah. 안녕.
So, okay. 안녕. Thank you so much for listening to us. You were listening Global Connection here in Texans Radio.
안녕.